San Diego. This is Laura Jane, your podcast mistress from beyond the realm of imagination. I'm not in a little box. I'm in your living room. I'm in your car. No, I'm not. I'm in a little box with Laura Chavez. I'm excited. We're in a little box as a vocal isolation booth, but it's in the friendliest place in the world, Thunderbird Analog Recording Studio in beautiful South Oceanside. Hello, Laura.
Hello, Laura.
Hello,
Jane.
Laura Chavez. So, before we start chitty-chatting away, we're going to play one of the tracks that Laura is featured on. It's from Nikki Hill's brand new release, Feline Roots. And Nikki Hill is going to be playing with Laura Chavez and Marty Dodson and Nick Gaitan and Matt Hill, the Nikki Hill Band, at Tio Leo's in San Diego, Sunday, December 9th.
With just announced special guests opening the Sleepwalkers.
New information.
Sorry.
Let me process. Palpitating heart? Check. Moistening eyelids? Check. A little bit of giddy up in my step? Giddy up! That's exciting.
Yes.
Thank you for that news. Well, let's not wait another second. This track is called Tell the Next World, and it is from Nikki Hill's brand new release, Feline Roots, featuring this young lady right here before me, Laura Chavez on guitar. And then they play the song. And then they play the song. And then they play
If I die in a worldwide disaster, tell the next world to please be aware. Don't let yourself be led by liar, by the evil rule makers that don't care. Tell them don't forget to fight for their freedom, for the young and old and all in between. Cause it's guaranteed a man with a self-fulfilling plan will abandon you to keep himself in lead. Don't live just for the money, for the hot shots on TV. Don't listen to the hateful words the cowards try to speak. We didn't see it soon enough, we were too stuck to change. Take the time to keep in mind our needs are all the same. If I die from a police gunfire, tell the whole world my life was lost in vain. Don't be ignorant to place a human being by the face. It's a guaranteed catastrophe and shame. Shots on TV. Don't listen to the hateful words the cowards try to speak. We didn't see it soon enough, we were too stuck to change. Well, take the time to keep in mind our needs are all the same. If I die from a police gunfire, please tell the whole world my life was lost in vain. Don't be so ignorant to place a human being by the face. It's a guaranteed catastrophe and shame. Tell them don't forget to fight for their freedom, for the young and old and all in between. Cause it's guaranteed a man with a self-fulfilling plan will abandon you to keep himself in lead. 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 Will abandon you to keep himself in lead.
Wow. That track really moves me.
That's good to hear.
Tell me, where did you record it?
We recorded it in New Orleans At a studio called the Maroney Studios, and pretty much all of it was recorded live. And
with everybody in the room?
With everybody in the room.
Nice.
And it was a really fun experience, and I'm happy to be on that album.
And you tour with Nikki quite a bit, right?
Yeah, on all of her dates, and she's pretty busy, so it's really fun, high-energy band. I have a great time with it.
In fact, you've been in Europe just recently?
Yep. Just got back from Germany and Switzerland, France.
Fantastic. Well, I love watching you all play live. I've seen you several times now. And the live show, people, if you're considering the effort to go to Tio Leo's on December 9th, it's a Sunday, doors open at 8. There are advance tickets available still, hopefully. And you're not going to believe it. It's like a high-energy rock and soul and blues explosion with a little bit of that southern flair tossed in regularly, sometimes almost like a rockabilly feel sometimes. And Nikki's got just a beautiful voice, and her husband, Matt, is spectacular on guitar, and it's so good to see you two sparring.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my first experience really playing with another guitar player, and it's been great, and I feel like we really work off each other in a good way, and it's been fun. That recording was really fun, trying to find parts that both of us could play and complement each other, and it's going to be a really fun show. I hope you all come. It's very high energy. You'll want to dance and jump up and down and scream and all the things that you should do at a rock and roll show.
Indeed. And so Nikki, also, I have to mention, because she's such a heroine of mine, such a hero, because she produces her own music, and she puts it out now, and she books all the gigs, and she does her own
She pretty much
thing.
runs everything herself.
It's
She's
amazing.
She's totally hands-on, does everything. I don't know how she has the energy to do all of it, and
well, you know, a lot of the women that you've worked with have been very hands-on and
that is
shaping
true.
their career. Casey Hensley, Sue Palmer, Whitney Shea, Lindsay Beaver, of course, the mighty Candye Kane, Vanessa Collier, Mercedes Moore. They're all kind of self-motivated people, much like yourself. That must be why you're with all these ladies.
I have not thought of it that closely, but yes, that's probably, I definitely have massive amounts of respect for those that do it and do it their way, and I think Candye definitely inspired that in me, and I definitely more easily see it in others since working so closely with her.
I want to play a track that you recorded with Candye, and this is called Walking, Talking, Haunted House. And what's the name of the record? It's
from Sister Vagabond, which was the second album that she and I produced together, and we recorded it at the original Thunderbird analog studio on Wisconsin Street in 2011. And I believe this was Candye's favorite song that we wrote and recorded together.
Well, let's hear it right now without another moment going by. This is Walking, Talking, Haunted House by Candye Kane featuring Laura Chavez, and they wrote this together.
I'm an old and empty house with all these ghosts inside, sticking to my soul like thorns upon a vine. Crooked floorboards, moaning, crying, specters of the past. They just won't let me rest when you lose the very best. I'm a walking, talking, haunted house. A chill runs up my spine, winds howling through the trees. In the dark here with all my memories. Slamming doors, voices sign, hanging on the lover's cross. What I had was lost. Oh, I have paid the cost. I'm a walking, talking, haunted house. Shadows all around me. What you put me through. Feel like I'm living a nightmare. You can burn this old house down, pour salt on the ground, but I'll never get over losing you. I'm a walking, talking, haunted house. Shadows all around me. What you put me through. Feel like I'm living a nightmare. Burn this old house down, pour salt on the ground. I'll never get over losing you, hanging on a lover's cross. What I had was lost. I have paid the cost. There's no one I can trust. I'm a walking, talking, mourning, crying, broken, bleeding, haunted house.
This podcast is brought to you by Hapnyn. Looking for something to do? Whether it's live music, dancing, theater, comedy, karaoke, trivia night, burlesque, interpretive dancing, you name it, you can find it on hapnyn.com. Visit hapnyn.com to find out what's happening near you. Wow, that's an emotional song. So did you help write the words, or were the words all hers? Or?
It was more or less written as a poem, and I heard it, and I heard the sort of refrain and the hook line, and I took it and put it to music, and it's kind of this Screamin' Jay Hawkins meets Otis Rush kind of bluesy feel, and we were really lucky to get Steve Hodges from Mavis Staples and James Harmon's band to come in and play drums on it, and it is fantastic. And I feel like it is one of the best examples of Candye's writing and our collaboration and sort of connection together.
So you were together for how many years?
I met her and started playing with her at the end of 2007. So about
9 years?
9 years, yeah.
Yeah, that's a long collaboration, and you guys went all over the world. You went to Israel,
Australia several times.
Iceland. No, not Iceland. You went there with Vanessa, right?
That was that was with
else.
Ina Forsman.
Ina Forsman.
Yes. We
darn
were
it.
actually supposed to go to Iceland together. That was one of our last gigs that we had booked together. We had to cancel it when she was in the hospital. And so I ended up going back a couple years later on my own with Ina.
Well, I really appreciate everything that you did for Candye when she was sick with cancer, and I don't want to dwell on this too much, but we haven't forgotten you, Candye. I really appreciate all that you did for Candye. She did pass away, unfortunately, from pancreatic cancer in May of 2016, and Laura has really gone so far since then. You know, when you're with one band for so long, and that's your main focus, and sure, you were doing other things on the side, but...
She made it a point to see to it that even at my own protest, everybody knew who I was and my name. I think she had that planned out so that if things happen the way that they did, I'd still have somewhere to go and play.
Well, as long as you play the way that you do, you're always going to have a place to play because your talent is immense. I mean, Candye recognized it, so did all these other women, and I should say that men also. You play with Billy Watson, and you play with Michael Ledbetter and Mike Welch, and you were on the Blues Caravan in Europe with men and women, and but you do you tend to attract a lot of powerful women who want to have you play with them. I think there's something really respectful about that. I love it.
Yeah, it works out. I mean, people ask me why I only play or why I tend to play with a lot of... I don't know that it's definitely not planned out on my end. I don't know why, what attracts me to other...
Because women kick ass.
Well,
that's what it is.
That's definitely other strong, as you mentioned, strong female band leaders seem to want me around.
Yeah. They want someone kick ass with their kick ass band. I love it. So I have to mention this. I know you're kind of shy about self-accolades, but you are featured in Guitar Player Magazine's 50 Sensational Female Guitarists. And when I found out about this was in May of last year, I just rushed out and I bought like 4 copies because I was so excited that you are being recognized in this iconic magazine.
I was really excited too. When I first heard about it, admittedly, I get so tired of people telling me that I'm the greatest or the best female guitar player they've heard or one of the best that they've heard. And my whole life, all I wanted to be was a great guitar player, and I just want to be seen the same way that everybody else is. So when the editor of Guitar Player magazine wrote to me to congratulate me and let me know that I was listed in here, I might not have been as excited as I should have been. However, when I saw the magazine and I saw that Sister Rosetta Tharpe was on the cover, who's the trailblazer for everybody and the original queen of rock and roll and perhaps the originator of rock and roll itself, and all of the other women that are in the magazine listed of all genres, everything from classical to metal to blues to jazz, country. I was really excited that I got to be one of them.
Well, I have my autographed copy right here, and so I'm going to read from it. So it's very short. It says, Laura Chavez. Chavez's six-string magic has elevated the blues of Laura Price and the late Candye Kane to world-class levels. She has carved out a stinging, soulful, and personal sound that encompasses Texas, California, Chicago, and Mississippi styles, all derived directly from the originators. Talented fingers and heavy strings let her deliver maximum tone with minimal distortion. Authentic blues guitar doesn't get any better than this. Well, girl, can I get a high five for that? Yes. What? How amazing. So did your parents just explode with pride?
Yeah, they were happy. They collect pretty much everything I think that I've made my way into, my picture articles, and that was definitely, I think they were excited about that.
Yay. She has such cool parents. They're so sweet, and they've been so supportive. So, Laura, you were raised in the Bay Area, correct?
I was, yes, in Mountain View.
And you started playing guitar, I think you told me when you were 2 months old. Is that right?
No, I tried to learn when I was young, like about 8 or 9. I had a horrible teacher and a horrible experience, and I vowed I would never play it again. Until I was about 13 and 14, I got an electric guitar, and it was about 18 when I started to play in bars and in front of people.
And how much do you love having an audience just hanging on your every note and just right there in the moment with you? It must feel great.
Oh, no, it does. It's funny because I really am a shy person who doesn't like to speak in front of people or do much in front of people, and that's the one thing that I've figured out I can do. So...
Well, you do it well, and I've lured you to my tiny box.
You have.
And thank you for you're seeming very comfortable right now. So
well,
I'm
that's
glad.
good.
So you moved to San Diego just about a year ago?
I moved here a year ago. I spent a lot of time here, especially in North County and Oceanside with Candye, so much so that most people thought I was from here or had no idea that I didn't live here, and the idea that I just moved here is lost on them. But yes, I just moved here in January.
Now, I understand that you like the Hillcrest Farmers Market quite a bit.
I do.
Tell me about that.
Well, it's the best farmers market in San Diego, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And it's right in Hillcrest every Sunday.
Every Sunday at the DMV.
You never know, you might run into a rock star there.
I don't think I'm the only one you might run into.
It's true. I have run into many there. I remember when the Seventh Day Buskers played there every Sunday, and that was so great. You never knew who was going to play with them. Yeah, Joey would play with them sometimes. Not always, but often. And Sean Rolfe is the leader of that band, and he had Jeff Kamak on bass.
Cool.
Yeah, it's great. I wanted to talk about this big show that's coming up on December 9th.
Yes.
It's at Tio Leo's.
Yes.
I think they can get tickets right from the Tio Leo's website.
I know there's an event on Facebook.
And there's a ticket link on that.
Definitely a ticket link on that and on Tio Leo's website and probably at nikkihillrocks.com.
And as you know, that's kind of a small venue, so if you're hearing this, check into tickets immediately because it may sell out very well indeed. And I think tickets are $20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the Sleepwalkers now, it's going to be...
It's going to be off the hook. So 7:30, Tio Leo's, December 9th, Nikki Hill, featuring the beautiful and talented Miss Laura Chavez. And the next track we're going to listen to that Laura played on was recorded remotely right here at Thunderbird Analog Recording Studio.
Yes, I did some overdubs for this one.
Mm-hmm. And Thomas Yearsley was your engineer.
That's right, as he was on the previous Candye Kane track.
And this one is called How Long Can This Go On? By Monster Mike Welch and Mike Ledbetter from the Right Place, Right Time album featuring Laura Chavez. Here it is. How long can this go on?
How long since my baby been gone? I just got back in town. Ain't nobody around. Another girl like you, hey, 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 got to tell me what to do. I couldn't sleep last night. Gonna tell you what to do. Give up gambling upon nobody but you. And I make it feel good, like a woman should. Somebody tell me, what am I gonna do? I ain't got no job that I gotta do. And I'm gonna need a friend, hey, 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 just to keep a place to live. myself a new chick. How long? How long? How long will this go on? Hey, well,
Well, Laura Chavez and I are going to moon the engineering team during the podcast now. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're gonna talk about that track because it did make me want to take my pants off.
I understand.
You know, because how long can I wear pants? Really? How long can that go on? So tell me about these guys. How did you hook up with the Mikes?
Well, I've known Mike Ledbetter for several years. We've been really good friends. He also played for many years with another band called the Nick Moss Band, and I met him through that, just going to see him. And we'd always sort of had this idea that we'd play together one day, and for whatever reason this time, he ended up putting this album out with Mike Welch, who also is a fantastic guitar player who I think is maybe my favorite on the scene right now. And they asked me to be a part of it and to be a special featured guest on it, which was really generous of them. I played on, I think, 5 of the tracks or 4. And it ended up winning all kinds of awards, the best contemporary blues album of 2018 with the National Blues Foundation. And they have a great career ahead of them, and I'm happy to be part of this.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And, you know, Casey Hensley's release also did well on the charts in the last
That's right.
year.
Also
and
recorded here at Thunderbird.
Yes, also recorded here. And Casey's boyfriend is Candye's son that plays drums on the band.
Yep.
And you're very familiar with, of course, Evan Yearsley.
Of course, yes.
And Lindsay Beaver's new release on Alligator Records has you on one song, and that is doing really well on the charts.
That is.
So apparently, if you want to get something on the charts, you should probably hire Laura Chavez to be on the record. I'm just saying.
I like the way that sounds, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm super proud to have you as a friend.
Aw.
Let me tell you that this is a decent, wonderful, humanitarian person that I'm staring at right now. She's also wickedly talented. She has an evil sense of humor. She is a connoisseur of fine dining and really crappy dining too.
That's right. All the yes.
She does it all.
I know the best of both.
And she'll try any cocktail I concoct.
They're all great.
And she is just a really great friend. And I'm so glad that you could be on with us today on what's happening in San Diego. Because now that you live in San Diego, you are part of what's happening in San Diego. So
All right.
we look forward to having you all around town being featured with any damn band you want to be featured with. And maybe someday you'll start your own band and you'll have your own record. And then we can talk about that. What do you think?
That sounds good. We'll see. Never know.
Do it, do it, do it.
Well, this was one of the more fun and easier interviews I've done, so thank you.
Excellent. And I'd like to thank Mexico for tequila.
I would love to thank Mexico for tequila.
Yeah.
It's one of many, many great exports.
And carnitas.
And carnitas.
And carne asada.
That's right.
That's what we filled her with tonight. Thank you, Mexico.
Thank you, Mexico.
Bring on your caravan. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can tune in to hear this podcast every Sunday on anywhere that you can find podcasts. We're just going to be there. It's What's Happening in San Diego. Make sure to visit the website to find out what's happening on the daily here in San Diego. That's at www.hapnyn.com. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
No, thank you, Laura.
No, thank you, Laura.
No, thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Laura.